I want to say a few words about Tzafnat Paneach. That's how Yosef was called by Paro. The name Tzafnat Paneach is probably Egyptian. The specialists in Egyptian ancient language do give a number of possibilities of what this may mean and how it was actually pronounced in ancient Egyptian. I'm not going to, of course, go into this. I'm not an Egyptologist, but what I do want to discuss is what the meaning of this expression became in Hebrew, which is, by the way, not a contradiction. It could be that Torah originally meant to have this kind of double meaning. At the same time, it's a meaning of the original. In Egyptian it meant something, but also has a meaning in Hebrew. Kind of like Moshe, that the daughter of Paro called the son of Yocheved Moshe, Himinamai Meshitihu. But really, this word has a meaning in Egyptian as well. So it could be that the Torah is trying to do kind of both. We find that a lot in Chazal. Our sages, the Talmudic sages, a lot of times used a known Greek word, and a lot of times you could see that they knew that it was originally a Greek word. But still they gave it a kind of a Jewish spin, a Hebrew spin, or an Aramaic spin. Such words as apoteki, I'm not sure how it's supposed to have been pronounced, but it means what the person who is borrowing money will be paying with. Let's say this field is going to be the payment if I don't pay with anything else. This is what's designated to be paid, the loan. That's originally a Greek word, but the Talmud gives it a spin in Aramaic. The word daitiki, that's a will that a person who is dying makes for his inheritors. That also is a Greek word, but again, the Talmud gives it a Jewish spin. And a lot of words like a prosbul, even Sanhedrin. The Talmud doesn't tell us any Jewish connotation of this word, but there is an explanation in the times of Rishonim that gives Sanhedrin, which is obviously a Greek word, Sanhedrion, gives it a kind of Jewish explanation. So it could be that even the Torah does it, that while the name of Yosef may have been an Egyptian name, Tzafnat Paneach, that was given to him, but it could be that the Torah also meant to give it a Jewish explanation. If, however, this is not so, and it never really meant to be a Hebrew combination of two words, then it could be that it was just a later interpretation and meaning. But whatever the case may be, it did become part of Hebrew, rabbinical Hebrew, and later, of course, modern Hebrew. That tzafnat is an ancient word. Tzafuns is something hidden. It's the word paneach that is unclear at all what this could possibly mean in Hebrew. But in already the times of the rabbis, in the times of the Talmudic rabbis, it was clear that the paneach word began to mean explaining or revealing the hidden, revealing the secrets. That's what Tzafnat Paneach meant. And that's how the Aramaic translations also translated Targum, what is called. This was the time of the Mishnah. So the word Paneach became kind of discipline thing. When you kind of reveal the script, you kind of open something that was hidden. That's the word. Pinuach would be the verb. Therefore, paneach is the form in which the name of Yosef appears. So Tzafnat Paneach is revealer of secrets, and that explanation and that meaning became very common for titles of books. So a lot of Jewish books are in fact called Tzafnat Paneach. There's more than a dozen books like that, on completely different topics. But all of them have one thing in common, I guess. The author wanted to say that he's going to reveal some kind of hidden information that is going to be, not necessarily Kabbalah, by the way. There could be even an interpretation of an interpreter. For example, one of the commentators to Ibn Ezra, to our Rabbi Avram Ibn Ezra, a super commentator, called his commentary Tzafnat Paneach, meaning he's going to reveal what Ibn Ezra hid. So some of these books of Tzafnat Paneach are on Kabbalistic things, but not all of them are. There is a Tzafnat Paneach that's very rationalist philosopher who wrote a commentary on the Torah. Only part of it survived. The most well-known Tzafnat Paneach is Rabbi Yosef Razin. Here there was a triple hint actually to Tzafnat Paneach, because his name was Yosef also, and his last name was Razin, so it has the word Raz, which in Hebrew means a secret. So there was therefore a triple kind of hint to the idea of revealing secrets. So his books are mostly on Rambam, and they're mostly halachic books. But he thought he understood a lot of interesting things. His interpretation of the Rambam are very original, very unusual quite often. And since his name was Yosef and his last name hints towards secrets, so he wrote his books and called them Tzafnat Paneach. This person, Rabbi Yosef Razin, is also called sometimes Rogochever Gaon. He did not live in Rogochev. He lived most of his life as a rabbi in what's today Latvia, Daugavpils, which was called Dvinsk in Polish. It used to be part of Poland, but later, between the two world wars, it became independent Latvia. And that's why he was the rabbi in the same place where a different great sage, Or Sameach, was a rabbi of non-Hasidim, and Tzafnat Paneach was a rabbi of Hasidim. So Or Sameach is Rabbi Meir Simcha from Dvinsk, and this rabbi is Rabbi Yosef Razin from Dvinsk. So these were the two great rabbis of the generation. It was only about 100 years ago, just quite recently. Both of them died, I think, less than, or maybe approximately 100 years ago. So these were the two very, very great rabbis whose books are in many synagogues, many Batei Midrashim, and Tzafnat Paneach in particular. There's so much written on, and people try to understand. His writings are themselves need an understanding and need pinuach, need kind of revealing, and so his books are trying to understand, to explain something about Rambam, but he himself, whatever he wrote, is very hard to understand. So it needs its own revealer of secrets of sorts to understand his books. But there are books that are published with commentary trying to explain what he's trying to say. And on this I'm going to end for today. If you like this video, please press like.